What's up? So here we are, back out on the country lanes again. I feel like I should be paying rent to these lanes at this point. Join me on a 6 mile easy run. Yesterday was 8 miles easy, and last week it was probably not enough miles and lots of pints of mythos. We just got back from a wedding abroad, which was amazing. Found probably the best placed treadmill on earth. It's alright, isn't it? But now we are back home and back to it. A few things I wanted to go over today. First, I figured I probably haven't told you too much about me. You know that my current marathon PB is 3:37, I told you that before. You also know that that was set at the end of an Ironman, but how did I get to that point? I've definitely always been into keeping fit. I played a lot of rugby growing up. Somewhere along the line, kind of transitioned into the more endurance side of things. When I was a teenager, I had a bad back, very bad back. We ended up in hospital for quite a while. And during that period where I was in hospital, London Marathon was on TV. And I always thought to myself, when I'm better, I can have a crack at that one day. Kind of always had that in my head. After all that happened, I got better, went back to play rugby for a bit longer, and then I ended up going to university, where I think things really started to progress. Joined the triathlon society and ended up going to the Bucks Triathlon, which was a lot of fun, and then from there entered my first half Ironman. All right lads, now you'll find with this story that there's not very many smaller races in terms of distance. I kind of jumped straight in, probably with a little bit of naivety, to be honest, which sometimes is the best way of doing things. And I mean that not from an athletic perspective, because look, if you're naive to something, you're probably not going to achieve your full potential. However, it does mean you learn quick. So I did that first half Ironman in Nottingham, and then after university ended up moving up to Chester, which is where I still am now, between Wrexham and Chester. Day-to-day I'm a radio presenter, which is just an absolute dream. I absolutely adore it, and it's given me a lot of opportunities in sort of the athletic space as well, which we'll get into. So jumping forward a couple of years from that half Ironman, the move, and then one day, I mean, the inevitable happened. When you do a half of something, you want to do a full of something. So a group of my friends from back in South Wales, where I'm from, WhatsApp group popped up. So we entered our first Ironman in Regensburg, Germany. It was actually a challenge race. We went out there all together, incredible day, finished that off in about 11 hours and 20 minutes. And actually ended up accidentally qualifying to go to the Challenge World Championships, which was amazing for my age group. Probably a bit more because there were so many people there, but that was an incredible experience the following year. To then go to Slovakia and race with some of the best half Ironmen on the planet. Lucy Charles-Barclay was there, Lionel Sanders was there. It was just an incredible day all round. That wasn't quite enough, because the following year we went again, and this time it was Copenhagen that was the chosen venue. Now, it's probably one of my favourite races ever, not only because I feel like I executed it pretty perfectly, but it was just such a stunning place. 10:31, so a big PB for the Ironman, and that is where my current marathon PB stands at 3:37 as well. Right, I'm having to take you over to the other side for a bit. Cool. All this holding the camera whilst running. I'll be like Arnie by the end of this. So after the Ironman, I had the opportunity to do a big charity challenge for Global, the Capital, the radio station I work for our charity Globals Make Some Noise. And I had the opportunity to run the length of Wales over 5 days. Something I couldn't turn down. I'm Welsh, very proud to be Welsh. And yeah, that was a very special journey from Cardiff all the way back up to Wrexham. 5 days, 150 miles. And before that journey, before the first day, I'd never run over a marathon. That day, we clocked 35 miles. So first ultra, and only 4 more to go after that. And finishing that felt like an incredible achievement. I adored the experience, but still wanted more, as you always do. So jumped straight back into actual ultra racing, 50 miles, 75 miles. Just kept climbing with each race until what I feel like was probably the tip of what I've done in the ultra space, which was another charity challenge, running around a 400 metre grass athletics track for 24 hours. Ended up covering just over 100 miles, kind of in one of the lockdown breaks that we had through the COVID period, and that was mentally the toughest thing I've ever done. Just going around and round in circles over and over again. 400 metres, 400 metres, 400 metres. There's a lot of 400 metre repeats, I'll tell you that. up the hill. That kind of brings us to where we are now. Project PB, get my marathon time down, get it to where I want it to be. Now, you probably noticed in all of that, Ben, what about your 5K, your 10K, your half? Here's the thing, right? I had never actually ran a 10K race until this year. The Chester 10K this year. That was my first ever 10K race. I'm not really entirely sure why. I've just always entered the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and never really considered maybe the steps between.
So then, shall we enter some races?